Welcome back to another episode of Dear Source, your Ascendancy Hotline, where we talk about real life situations, whether that's relationships, whether that's parenting, whether that's health and wellness, and our relationship with working out, our relationship with food. You name it, there is no topic off limits that we do not discuss. And we talk about how they all link to your spiritual growth and to your ascension on this planet, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we are human beings having a spiritual experience. So we are both. We are here to come into union within ourselves, to understand that we are fully human as well as fully divine, and to recognize that beautiful balance that we came here to be and to remember. So with that, we are going to dive right in and connect with Source for what this listener's letter wanted to share with us. So this comes from Running in Circles. So this reads, Dear Source, I need your help. I'm addicted to running, and while it seems like a healthy outlet to most, I feel like it's starting to consume me in ways that go far beyond fitness or goals. Running feels like the only thing I'm good at, my one source of accomplishment, but I'm starting to wonder if I'm using it to avoid something deeper, something I can't even name because I'm lost all perspective on what's really driving me. Recently, I was training for an ultra marathon and made it 80 miles, but instead of pride, I felt like a complete failure for not finishing. I pushed myself so hard I became sick, and even thought about signing up for another ultra marathon just a week later to redeem myself. If it's like I can't stop this cycle, and it's starting to feel like I'm trapped in it. How do I break free from this feeling that running is the only thing that defines me? How do I know if I'm just running away from something else entirely? I want to find a healthier balance and understand what's really going on beneath this obsession. Sincerely, Running in Circles. So thank you, Running in Circles, for that beautiful letter and for taking the time to connect with yourself and to recognize that there is an unhealthy pattern going on within yourself that you need to understand what's really driving that for your soul's highest growth. And I would just ground us in, as we start this conversation, that everything does exist in relationship. So examining your relationship with running is absolutely something I think paramount to really understand. Why are you doing it? And how to find the right relationship with it where you have the love for it, but it's not defining you from an egoic perspective, and really honoring who you are. And before I came on to record, I was in a state of meditation and just connecting in with Source to channel this. And one thing that came out was understanding that we're here to trust the divine timing of our lives. In so much of our lives, for so many of us, it's focused on what's happening outside of us, not on what we can do or produce. So whether that's work, whether that's running, whether that's you name it, we are so outcome driven, which is an output of our ego. When we think of being attached to an outcome, that's our ego. When we're in our true state of our soul and remembering the divinity of who we are, we're in a complete state of trust and surrender. Our worth is defined well beyond the external 3D world, and it's defined by the frequency of who we are, which we are already worthy. We are an emanation of God himself. So no amount of metals, no amount of money, all the things that we have come to say defines our worthiness actually isn't even in play. The only thing that defines our worthiness is the frequency of our soul, which is already worthy. And we have focused on what we produce or earn or accumulate, in linking that to our sense of self-worth or sense of purpose, and even a sense of status and importance in the world. And what we've really forgotten and lost in this whole thing we call life, which we are being lived, but what we've really forgotten is the majesty of what cannot be seen or qualified. We have forgotten about cultivating a capacity to love and to be loved. And we have forgotten that tending to the essence of who we are is more important than our occupation. Tending to the essence of who we are. Like, think about that. Who is the essence of you running in circles? Who is that? Because running isn't proving your essence. Running, it could be an outward expression of something you enjoy and like to do, but using anything external to us to define our self-worth is really what we're here to transcend and overcome, because it's actually not an accurate definition of who we are at all. So if, I deem that I'm worthy because of X, Y, and Z that I have in the external 3D world, whether it's a time that I've ran, whether it's the number of medals that I've achieved, we're actually forgetting the essence of who we are. And the more we chase that, the further it takes us away from remembering the divinity of who we truly are and what we're here to do. Because I'll never forget, I think Denzel Washington was giving a commencement speech, but he talked about how you never see a hearse pulling a U-Haul. And he talks about the Egyptians, how they tried to take everything with them, and all they ended up getting was robbed. I mean, their graves just ended up getting robbed. Their gold, whatever they had brought to them into their tombs, didn't transcend into the afterlife. It just stayed here, and all they did was get robbed. And so we are here to reconnect to the truest essence of who we are, we are our souls. That is what we are. Our soul houses our body. Our body doesn't house our soul. We are not our bodies. We are our souls. And so I think it's such a powerful example of how we can take something such as running and not even notice that we have unconscious egoic patterns at play that are driving and dictating who we are, and thinking that that's going to make us feel worthy. And clearly, there's no amount of running in this example. If you're in this state, there's no amount of money, there's no amount of objects, houses, belongings, cars. If you're in this state, there's no amount of any of that will ever fulfill the essence of who you are. You will never accumulate enough. That's why you will see very wealthy individuals, very accomplished individuals, still feel unsatisfied because it's never enough, because they're deeming their worthiness by these external things that do not determine our worth at all. Our worth is our souls. Our worth is our frequency. Our worth is the love that we give into the world to then receive that love back. That's all we're here to do. And we all do this. We all think that external accomplishments are a definition of our worthiness and our success, and we're here to transcend those. Think about all the times we have felt like a failure because we didn't meet expectations, because we didn't meet certain milestones, because we didn't achieve what we thought we were to achieve at a certain point in our lives. And what we're really here to do is we are here to elevate our soul. We're here to watch our soul unfold in the most beautiful way, in its own time, at its own speed, and to use moments like this to help us elevate. This is a growth point for you that's going to propel you along your journey that much quicker. How beautiful is that? So your awareness alone is the gift. Your awareness of what is driving that requalifies it and helps you remember that. And how do you relax into that acknowledgement? Do you honor yourself with a day off of maybe not running? Do you honor yourself in other ways to go, my running is something I enjoy, but it does not define me, or I define my self-worth, and so we have such an opportunity with this example to really re-examine things that are of the body or of the 3D world or of ego, to really understand that we've used a vast majority of things to deem our worthiness. And we're here to break free from that. Your soul is perfect and whole and unique, and it is already worthy because it is the emanation of God, source, the universe itself. And so there is no running, there is no race, there is no external circumstance to you that's ever going to truly, truly define your worth, because your worth is your soul. So take this opportunity to connect in when you want to go on a run and it doesn't feel like a yes. It doesn't feel like this is just natural for me to go do right in this moment, versus like, oh my gosh, I have to go do this. And if I don't go do this, like, I'm not going to do X, Y, or Z. Like, really check in. We're here to be in ease. We are here to follow the flow. When things feel right, you're just going to naturally want to do them. When it feels forced and we're going through the motions, that's when we have an opportunity to really check in and ask, why am I doing this? What external circumstance am I attaching to me doing this that is going to deem me more worthy than I am right now? So I think this is a beautiful point for us to just check in with ourselves, check in with our souls, be a whole body yes when it feels right. And if it doesn't, honor that resistance. There is no external outcome that we are going to create that makes us any more worthy than we are right now in this present moment as an emanation of source itself. So anytime you feel overridden to go do something like in a push mode, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. If I do this, it's going to produce this outcome versus like, how this feels right. This feels like what I'm being called to do. This feels whole and complete and natural. And yeah, I want to go out for a 5-mile run. Maybe I feel like I'm up for a 7-mile run. Nope, I'm only feeling good for 3. Honor where you're at. Nobody's going to remember the times you ran, the records you held. They're going to remember the love that you gave and the energy they felt in your presence. And that's what we are here to elevate and do. And in focusing on our soul work, we're going to produce amazing outcomes because we're so detached from them that the universe is going to gift us even more. So by detaching, we remove all the restrictions, all the constraints that are holding us back from achieving what we came here to really achieve. So when we're trying to drive the outcome, we're holding ourselves back from the allowance of the universe to bring even more abundance, even more magic in, because we think we know better and that we're going to dictate this outcome. So be an allowance of the flow of universe. Look at your relationship with everything because we only exist in a relationship. So if we are not acting in right relationship, that's an opportunity for us to exist. And being in right relationship would mean we're just in the flow. We're never forcing, we're never doing anything that's not in alignment. So just allow. And even in this work you're going to do of examining what's that underlying feeling, emotion, attachment to outcome, lack of self-worth, whatever's driving that desire to run, by recognizing and releasing that and coming into the understanding that you are your soul, you will over time enhance your running because you're more in allowance of the universe and going with what the natural intelligence of the universe wants for you. And whether that's an ultra marathon, whether that's a half marathon, whether that's a marathon, whether that's a 5K, whether that's whatever training runs, whatever, you'll actually probably see some incredible things once you detach happen in your accomplishments, even in the space of running. So what a great opportunity to requalify, come back into balance as a fully human and a fully divine individual, and to remember that our worth is determined by our soul and that we're here to do soul work. So get in right relationship with running so that it's fueling your soul and not detracting you from the work that you came here to do. So thank you again for running in circles. I appreciate your vulnerability, your authenticity, and your recognition of understanding that there is a spiritual lesson and growth opportunity for your soul in redefining and coming into right relationship with running. So for those who would like to have a one-on-one free consultation with me to dive into any deeper topic of where you're at, what you have going on, how you're using things in your life to have a better understanding of what that's presenting to you for your soul's growth, please book a session. The link is in the bio. It's always available. So please reach out. We're also going to be connecting with a community in 2025 so we can have a support system. We want to overcome the loneliness epidemic. We want to come back into right relationship as a human collective and a human society where we understand that we exist in relationship, and by focusing on relationship that we grow and cultivate ourselves, and to know that we're not in this journey alone. So super excited for that community. So lots more to come. Please continue to follow, subscribe, share, because we are here to grow and heal and ascend on the body, mind, and soul level. We do not need to walk this path alone. So join us in rising up together. And again, thank you for tuning in to Dear Source, where we connect all real world issues as a spiritual lesson to teach and grow and elevate our souls and ascend on this process that we are on while we are here on earth together. So until next time, trust the process, honor your truth, and stay connected to Source.